at the top of your screen. He is split out wide. And it's Bowers, and it is broken up. That is the aforementioned of a season and a half in Las Vegas. The ability to jump the rest.
Yeah, I just feel like that was a carbon copy of what we saw against the the LA Chargers a couple years ago, where he picked one off, jumping, slipped a quick slant to that side. He's all over it.
8 career interceptions for Jones. He's got 4 touchdowns. And what is now Cousins back to the air. Good protection. Back to Bowers. And he is wrapped up. Tatum Bethune, 3rd year out of...
Enjoyed our visit with Kirk Cousins yesterday, and him talking about, even his comfort level with Trey Tucker and Jalen Naylor, and I think he's trying to develop that rapport with some of those other young receivers is critically important to their ability to trust how those guys are going to respond week 1.
Well, and for Brock Bowers, you just assume you figure it out. Cousins came off the initial hit. He found Jalen Naylor. It's a first down. Between Bethune and the corner.
Protection. Remember, Mike Washington, his first opportunity in this protection. Watch number 30. He gets right there, the running back spot, scans back side. Nobody comes, gives a Jalen Naylor. You were just talking about him, Rich, and number 9 getting involved early on.
Kirk, I could throw from that pocket. That's a clean pocket. That's a good-looking job by the
school I formation. Toss play. Got 2 blockers out in front for Washington. And he gets into the secondary. Brought down. Taken down after an 8-yard run. This line is absolutely pushing the Niners backwards every time they go to run the...
He believes in having a fullback involved in the game plan, and it's going to be important for the Raiders.
Holding, offense number 18. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, we don't usually replay penalties, but I just want to watch the fullback and watch the tackle go down. This is good looking. And I think we're going to see more and more. 32nd each of the last 2 years. They need to be a top 10 rushing team. And there's no reason why they can't with Ashton Genty and Mike Washington.
Well, in the 31st place team. There's Trey Tucker. And he picks up all of that penalty yardage and more. Kirk Cousins couldn't say enough great things about Tucker. He said, in my 14 years in the thing, Trey Tucker's a different story.
What did he say? He said you have to try and overthrow him. Now think about that for just a second. Referred to as rare and unusual speed at the wide receiver position.
And he lines up all over the place. Played slot receiver in college at Cincinnati. And they throw it to Tucker. He's got 1 man to beat. Gets the sideline, first down. He left the rookie.
For the Raiders, I thought about this in my hotel room today, guys. How about some continuity and improved play up front, the offensive line? That is the key. And then growth, and I mentioned this, the running back, whether it's a tight end or fullback, and you can rely on from a recognition, protection, and execution standpoint. And
that man, we just saw Rick Dennison, the offensive line coach, experienced Super Bowls, been in the NFL for more than 3 decades. They have credited with his energy that he still brings all this time.
Well, 30 years of NFL coaching experience. It was magic like he normally does. This might be one of the most improved units in all of football.
And that unit right there, working with the ones the entire camp. Been a battle at right guard. Jackson Powers Johnson and Caleb Rogers. Tonight's JPJ in his 3rd year on a lengthy opening drive. Washington spun his way right into a tackle. Jalen Graham, 4th year out of Purdue, was the one who...
Look, that's just 10 plays on this drive, and a lot of it is about Rico Dennison right there. We call him Rico around here, but look, you see the offensive lines and what you're appointed to the group that needed the biggest jump, I think, in improvement from 2025.
That's just since 2019. You go back to some good ones.
Now, 11th play of the drive. Kirk Cousins in his only drive in the preseason game 1. 10-play drive, they scored a touchdown. Trying to push the pile. He's not going to get the first down. They ran it on 3rd down and 4. Pushed backwards. Are you going for...
Down, and that's what you have with a really good play caller. And, of course, they kicked the field goal. you get 4th and a yard, you go for it, but they've got a long 2 or 3.
Yeah.
That wasn't very good.
Gay has been in a battle throughout the camp with Katsei Matsuzawa, although it seems that Gay has performed in games certainly top-notch. Made from 50, 37 out of the hole of A.J. Cole. And Kirk Cousins leads the Raiders on a scoring drive to open up here.
We talked about a lot of Raider stuff and search
down to get that game 10-0 as Matt Gay kicks it off. Jordan Watkins back deep. He will bring this out for the 49ers. They had a punt. Patrick Johnson continues to make plays to try and make this roster.
He made a nice little move there. I was excited. I was like, move. Comes to the inside, now you got to retrace. And a nice job of getting there. See, that's how you're trying to show, I want to make a football team right there, number 9.
Teams. So Mac Jones, you're not going to see Brock Purdy. Not going to see most of the starters. Kalen Black, the starting running back, 3rd-round pick. Jones chased down Quiddy Pay. Got him on a couple of yards. Mac Jones known for a lot of things the last couple of years, running, not one of start for the last couple of weeks. The 2nd-round pick, Kirk, out of Arizona, and he is going with the ones tonight.
Yeah, it's been a slow process early on. He didn't make mid-trade, and Stoops takes his play to another level.
He is so versatile. They have loved his ability to try and get that ball. Nobody home. Kalen Black. You know, Rich, look, a lot of coaches around the league do it differently. Some play their starters. Kyle Shanahan's year 10. He's not playing his starters. But for Clint to the field, remember the Cardinals went right down and scored.
Yeah, I don't really care who plays for the Niners. I do care who plays for the Raiders and what we're doing to prepare for week 1. I think Clint, 2 more reps together in week 3.
Here they come with a blitz. Mac Jones, deep shot to Watkins. Not there. Taron Johnson, Beaver out of Ole Miss, and it's a 3-and-out.
Yeah, go ahead, put the seatbelt on. That guy was strapped up. That's a nice job by Taron football. Mac Jones honestly just kind of threw it up, but it was terrific coverage, and that's what we wanted to see from this secondary of the Raiders. Nice job, see, standing like that. So you see the growth within the scheme there by Taron Johnson.
Corliss Waitman in his 4th year in the league. Seen a lot of Devin Tompkins on returns. This year, the rookie out of Oregon. And he is lit up immediately down 17 days away from game day in the Record Stadium. Washington bounces that outside. He rumbles for 14 more, and he has put on his ability.
All plays, it's a delay, but watch this block here by DJ Glaze. Gets his defender to come up the field, and Mike Washington does a good see, kind of opens up in parts. He knows how to get from 0 to 60 real quick.
I love he's had a number of explosive runs already this preseason.
Against the Texans, a 53-yarder against the Cardinals. He breaks another tackle and gets 5 or 6 here. 6 carries for 33 yards. Clint Kubiak said, hey, I need these guys to gel. And they've had that battle at right guard. Caleb Rogers is in on this series after JPG started the game. Tucker gets a block from Colton Miller. Nobody saw the gentleman coming from behind. Obo Okoronkwo. 5 resulted in a field goal, 15th year. And as we were talking to him yesterday, he's had 9 play callers, he told us, in his career. NFL head coaches. Clint Kubiak was with as his offensive coordinator in 21. They were together for 3 seasons in Minnesota.
I'll throw in an honorable mention. Remember, coach over in Green Bay was his quarterback's coach at one point over in Washington. So everybody who's coached Kirk Cousins seems to get a head coach.
Michael Mayer went in motion, breaks the tackle, and just can't keep his feet, but he's got a 1st down. But Rich, to that point, right here with the Raiders, an MVP late in your career, leading the team to the Super Bowl, go the way he thought it was, it didn't go well. But people remember how you finish.
Yeah, I think what a luxury for a head coach and an organization to have an air systems of football. I love that he takes ownership. You know, he's in that meeting yesterday. He wants control in the huddle at the line of scrimmage. I think it's very helpful that he did.
Pocket holds. Mike Washington cannot hold on. Jalen Graham was out there to hit him. And the other thing that, Kirk Cousins told us is that, the Atlanta situation there, they weren't drafting a quarterback. They take Michael Penix Jr. He's under no pretense about what this is. He knows what it is. The team knew what it was. And he signed here with all those expectations.
Yeah, so we all know where this is headed. He said, I understood what I signed up for. But in the meantime, he's getting an opportunity to play with the ones, and I think he'll start the season.
Huge hole for Washington. Carries a defender for 11 yards. Ashton Davis, the veteran safety. Now he hobbles back to his feet.
Yeah, I want you to watch this, checking somebody. Watch what he does here. Knocks the helmet off. That's how you engage, but it allowed Mike Washington to get up the field, and he plays so well forward. Never is a guy getting knocked backwards.
They're really crafty. I think he's got a great sense for the running game. He's just a very natural runner.
Trying to set up the tight end screen to Michael Mayer. And a great play. Terrell Luter Jr. He played for the Niners, and that's a great open field tackle.
It's always difficult for a left tackle like Colton Miller. He's got to wait behind that line of scrimmage so the ball's thrown, and so make that play or make that block. And that's just a good play by Luter coming through and tackling Mayer right by the ankles.
I mean, we're talking all about what the Niners, they were not good last year in the secondary. 25th against the pass. Remember, they only had 20 sacks, dead last in the league by a one. Sat down, picks up about 5 or 6. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Rich, you keep talking about this pocket. I mean, Kirk Cousins back there fanning himself.
Well, he's a guy in the pocket, and there's not a lot of push-up inside. He can sit in there and pick you apart. Very accurate thrower of the football. When you look at his numbers over the years, he's a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. He's coming up on that should get done early this season.
He had 30 touchdowns 3 times in his career. On 3rd down, that is a tough throw and great coverage. Saran Neal one-on-one with Jalen Naylor. Got no space. And this receiver group to find a way to make some plays.
Yeah, a little bit better route separation. That's actually pretty good coverage, though, truth be told. But yeah, that's what the Raiders need. That they need some playmakers on the perimeter, guys that win versus man coverage.
Matt Gay last week hit from 52. This from 53. Down. And he is still perfect here in the preseason. So, couple of drives so far for the...
Not the list. He was, I hated playing against him when he was in San Francisco, Philly, and Denver, but I loved him as a teammate.
Or was that like after breakfast? Keem Sloan made that tackle. So, you know, 2 of the guys, Kirk, that we were going to highlight on the defense teams that made big plays already.
Yeah, and look, Clint Kubiak told us it's a competition, and guys like Keem Sloan, an undrafted free agent out of NC State, has roster tonight.
Niners opening drive with Mac Jones. They had 3 plays. They got 2 yards. Raiders, first team defense out here. Kalen Black, such a violent runner. Nakobe Dean closing. Rich, here are your defensive keys for the season.
Well, it all starts with...
To the ground. And it is a 1st down for San Francisco. Now, defensively, who is not playing tonight. We have not seen him all preseason. But that being said, and Max will join us later on the broadcast, you asked Clint Kubiak who shined more.
Wrecking crew. I mean, he can really ruin a game plan by himself. What the Raiders need is they need more players that play with that intensity, and that's each week. And I think we talked a lot about it, guys, creating negative plays. Ball away to second or interceptions. They need to get their hands on more balls to be a better defense in 2026.
And there's a reason why they added 2 former Georgia Bulls and Quay Walker.
Mac Jones with play action. He's got all day to throw. And a brilliant job by Eric Stokes. Stayed with him.
And there's one of those Bulldogs as well, right? Eric with the Raiders, right? Last year, played almost every game, just missed 1. He got rewarded with the contract this offseason, and look at him right there. That sticky coverage.
Now you think about the Niners wide receivers room this year. Mike Evans. Debo hasn't played yet tonight. Raiders come with a blitz. Mac Jones off his back foot. No one home. Will Pauling's 4th down.
Well, this is what Rob Leonard wants to see. We don't talk enough about Rob Leonard's defense. I mentioned it. The installs are now over. This is what a game plan looks. Let's go. And watch how he's got pressure. They're bringing pressure without Max Crosby on the field, able to get an errant throw from Mac Jones.
The man coverage with help from Stooks over the top.
Saw Malik Benson field the first punt. This time it's Dylan Laube. And that comeback against the Texans. He waves for the late fair catch, and he makes it at the 15-yard line. A 42 on the rookie out of Texas A&M, but again.
You know, a lot of Raider fans want to know how long before Fernando Mendoza takes center stage here in Las Vegas. I think you want to avoid rushing. Rodgers had to wait. So did Patrick Mahomes playing behind Alex Smith, and those guys turned out to be pretty good players.
To throw on his first snap, he's hit. Mendoza was drilled as he threw it. It was a 5-yard play.
Really, watch him snap his head around. He knows he's got some push in his face. Just a great job getting it out. So it's not a perfect throw, but back and a great catch by Naylor.
And this is the tough part about Fernando, right? He takes a shot, he gets right back up. He's one of those quick long.
I was rewatching yesterday the national championship game. He was bloodied, he was battered, and he led him to a national championship. And he's finally brought down by his former Niner teammate Spencer. 16-yard return the other direction.
All right, now if I'm coaching the quarterback, I say maybe this is coming out of your own end zone. This is one that I think you got to look somewhere else. You just watch it from the end zone copy. We're going to go ahead and freeze it. Look, there's a lot of bodies around there. Would have taken a perfect throw. We talk about don't fight zoning linebackers and she for trouble.
I'll throw this in too, Rich. I've seen it in the first 2 preseason games with Fernando. I would tell my linebackers in game 3, get deeper in.
Now, quick change here, and Adrian Martinez in at quarterback. And it's a toss play to Fernando's former college teammate. And
Can't have it, won't tolerate it.
Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty.
now in his 8th year. You know, Kyle Shanahan, we've talked a lot about Mike Washington here in the preseason, and everyone knows this is Christian McCaffrey's backfield. But everyone in San Francisco, the 3rd-round pick out of Indiana, he had that 14-yard run right before the end of the first quarter. He is violent, he is powerful. Injected, he has it again. And he got a couple of yards out of that, down to the 10. Big things up. A couple of the Niners offensive linemen. Enrique Cruz Jr. was there with Trevin Ma'ai. 47 starts between Nebraska and Kansas State. Was undrafted free agent last year. Last couple of years back and forth. Niners in the NFL in 2024. He throws it short. Watkins in between 3 Raiders. Isaiah Polamalu, the first hit. Tommy Eichenberg cleaned it up.
Everybody playing their zone. You wait till someone comes in your zone. Here's a big 3rd down. Early in the preseason, we saw the fade ball. So if I'm Jermod McCoy to the corner up top, if I'm Hezekiah Massey.
Oh, you've got 3 rookies in the secondary here on 3rd and goal. You mentioned the 2 corners. Trayton Stukes, who started tonight. Martinez to the air, to the corner, and is broken up. Isaiah Polamalu.
Why? Because he knew there was going to be traffic, and he got around the traffic. Meaning that, watch how he beats the traffic. Able to get that right arm in, knock that ball away. That's a tremendous play by a player right now who's battling in a position battle with Trayton Stukes.
Out of the snap of John Weeks in the hold of Corliss Wakeman, it is booted right through. And so the Mendoza intercept on the return with Roman Hemby leading the way. And he takes it out past the 30 into the arms of Jalen Graham. And so Fernando Mendoza, he takes the field. Didn't watch him at Indiana. You didn't see it. He does it all the time. Last week, Rich, after the interception, he completed 6 consecutive. This is one of the things we have heard all offseason. He does a great job of not making the same mistake twice.
Yeah, you know, I think every rep for him, the game is a lot different, even what he saw last year in the Big Ten.
Dylan Lactander off to Devin Tompkins, trying to string it outside, and he cannot get there. Jacob Robinson, he set the with the stop.
Yeah, nice job by Robinson, because basically he's holding off Ian Thomas. He holds the edge. He forces Tompkins to go all the way outside. He just makes a play. You want to force Tompkins to go inside, and Tompkins just had nowhere to go. It's a nice, the Raiders defense, also the 49ers defense.
And that is part of the natural grass here at Allegiant Stadium that is sticking at the top of his helmet. Conversation here in the offseason. Mendoza back to the air. Tough throw. Benson can't bring it in. Darrell Luter, who's had some really good coverage, 3rd and 10.
That's something that we expected from Fernando. We saw that a lot at Indy. They know that, hey, at some point, Fernando's going to throw back shoulder. You've got to be able to play that route.
San Francisco as well. Raheem Morris, their new DC, took over for Robert Saleh, who's now one of the 10 new coaches. Pressure on Mendoza, down he goes. Pressure came through. Keon White, the former pick.
Yeah, there's just miscommunication up front. And you got these twists and stunts. You've got to make sure you get a hand down. So watch him. He comes here late. Hard in the center. You've got to be able to stab with one hand and still be able to stay on your guy. Just a miscommunication. And there's a sack on.
So Jordan Watkins back deep to receive the punt from A.J. Cole. And that punt comes. He gets around one defender and into the Raiders bench. Patrick Gurd, the backup fullback. One of those guys in attendance here. There's that list again. Casper when he with the Raiders.
It's pretty incredible when you think about all those Hall of Famers on one team. I mean,
Sure.
Coaches, owners, assistant coaches, of course, Tom Flores. But man, what a lineup.
Jordan James about a yard or 2 shy. J.J. Pegues in on the tackle as well. You know, we started this broadcast, guys, by talking teams around the league. That decision will come Sunday. The final preseason games tonight, tomorrow, and then we're talking about who are trying to fill those final 4, 5, 6 roster spots, both on the offensive and the defensive side of the field. Martinez took over for Mac Jones. He hands it off to Jordan James again. Cody Lindenberg, first man through. Patrick Johnson. A whole lot of 93 here in this preseason.
Yeah, there's just the penetration by this defensive front of the Raiders. You want to talk about building? There's just no push. The 49ers are trying to find and get push, and a nice job by filling by the corners. And Patrick Johnson, number 93,
He's got 2 sacks. That is his 4th tackle for loss here in the preseason. 6th year out of 2. Set a year with the Giants and then back to Philly last year. Laube calls for the fair catch with Jacob Robinson right in his face. It's 43. Dare Agumbawale gets the carry, and he is ridden down to the turf after a pickup of 6. CJ
Wale is one of those guys, a veteran in this league, plays special teams right in the league. So he can do a lot on special teams, but right now he may be thrust into a much bigger role at the running back position early on.
You know, this year, you know that is definitely not right. That is a false start. you know that I pride myself on prep on all guys who are
Offense. Everybody but the center.
All right.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Trey Zoom.
Well, if you we've had here in the preseason, that is 2 on the Raiders. The last one was Jordan Meredith. Trey Zoom tonight has been getting the look. He's doing that rare. You don't see it all that often, Rich, but Trey Zoom's working right tackle and center. Right, it's more usually guard and center.
Yeah, you're
Back on the ground to Agumbawale, who's tripped up on the outside. Solid open field tackle. Saran, the interest of it is incredible. 3rd inches here for Adrian Martinez.
3rd. Oh, I don't know.
That he got there.
No, he didn't. I'm watching the official up top. He's short.
That is Rolo Fatu. He popped last week, too, with a couple of plays behind the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Fadokasi and also Jonah Laulu. Nice little comp.
Just watch the penetration.
I watched the helmets, Rich.
This is they knock him back.
You see, the Raiders, the silver helmets are on the gold helmet side. No movement by the 49ers.
All right, so if that was 3rd and 10 inches, this is about 4th and maybe a 1.5 feet. He and Sloan can't get his hand on it. It's a 1st down. Hayden Rucci, the tight end, he's slow, and it's 10 yards and a 4th down conversion.
I think the only coaching point here, defender, see right now, go. See, he's looking back at the quarterback. If he runs right to that tight end, he's maybe able to knock the ball away or play the hands. Go to the intended receiver because you already had another defender who was chasing down the quarterback. That's the only coaching point, but good recognition of the play.
To the ground on 1st down. That's a big hole. And James gets away from Stoops for an extra 5 yards. Yard gash play.
A lot of movement for this 49er. You got guards pulling, but you got guys who just got to get off blocks. A tremendous tackle there by Trey Stoops. And a good job by 31, finished off by number 20. Pull him out.
Well, that run is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. On 1st and goal, and met in the hole. Jordan James driven back. It'll be 2nd down, and a timeout taken by
1st.
They've got 2 left. You know, with the Raiders do alumni weekend, it is always during the preseason. And I've shared this. My first game with the Raiders, right? I get hired we go to Canton, Ohio, and there's the Hall of Fame game, and what do we have? We have a lightning delay right on my first Raiders broadcast. You get a chance to do it with Mark Davis, who was so close with Clint Branch. And, you know, Clint Kubiak's talked about the intensity, bringing back the culture. It's been a long time. Raiders, such an important franchise in this league. Got to get
the consistency with the head coach and quarterback. I mean, I think we just look at our division, and we have a top-heavy division right now.
He's got a long way to go, and he got a lot farther than it looked like. Eichenberg chased him out of bounds.
Well, if you just
picked him about 7.
If you just look at Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. And, you know, those guys aren't going anywhere. And we need Clint Kubiak to be together for like a decade. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we're talking about something special.
The one difference, though, is that the 3 coaches in the division are much towards the end of their career.
In the last decade.
Pinheiro good from 24. He is now good from 25. And the game is tied at 6.
We really set the bar when it comes to taking care of alumni in the National Football League.
When there's a waiting list, that just tells you that everybody wants to be here. It's like my family reunion, I call it, being here every single year for alumni weekend.
Play for 1, and he is just tripped up from behind. Making the tackle at Frisian's Prize Socket. All of that, we want to send our best wishes to Greg Papa. 21 years, the voice of the Raiders. He is, at the moment, he is now a good portion of last year. But he said this week he is hoping to be on the broadcast for the Niners when they return from our best as he continues to recover and battle cancer. 1:31 to go here. Before he it out to the 34, he's got 6. Raiders do have a pair of timeouts left if they can move down the field with 80 seconds before halftime.
There's got to be some tempo. They're getting in the huddle now. I just want to see him make good decisions. I want him to minute drive and come away with some points before the half. No sacks in this.
Thomas is close to the first down. A near side official came in and said he has the first down. I think you got to have a little bit more urgency. You do have the 2 timeouts. Johnson went low to make the catch, and then Clint Kubiak does take his second timeout.
The one thing that's been impressive is you watch the
30-second timeout.
You watch the preseason games. He's done a good job working through his progressions. He doesn't get there. Don't typically see that with a lot of young quarterbacks.
Game clock operator, please set the game clock to 35 seconds, please.
I would say I want to see him once he's finished. It's like, okay, what do I do now? And then that's where he either gets the sack, he gets hit. I want to see him learn how to throw the ball away. Yeah, that time clock here right now.
Watch how wide he Mendoza to fit
pass
that
interference.
one in.
Defense number 33. While he plays the spot of the foul, automatic first.
Because I'm thinking field goal, but with 30 seconds left and 1 timeout, I'm thinking I may have a couple of shots at the end zone.
You got some chances here.
You got some chances now.
Neil was asking where was the flag. He was looking at the ball. There's a lot of the Niners fans in attendance. You hear those boos. Mendoza comes back to Ian Thomas at the short gain. Rookie out of Louisiana, who last year was a tackling machine. Raiders not taking that last time out yet with 13. Got to get that play off quickly. Clock with 5 seconds left.
That's what you learn about clock management. You got to call that timeout.
There's other ways, right? There's other ways to stop the clock. You can get out of bounds. You can clock it. You can have an incompletion. You can have a defensive out of time trying to get that play snapped.
I'll take the time over timeouts.
No question.
You know what I mean? Give me more time. I can create on. You wasted about 15 seconds there.
Gay is hit from 37. He has knocked one in from 53. This from 45. 9 Raiders points here in the first half. Brings us to the locker room. 9-6 Raiders on top.
Balls have done. They've been able to have a true game plan, and I just see a much improved defense from the beginning of training camp to where they are now, finishing up the preseason.
4 yards out of the end zone. Keegan Sloan in on the special teams tackle. Buddy Johnson over there. By Yamava Resort and Casino. Newsweek. Must be 21 or over to enter. Please gamble responsibly. Adrian Martinez. Mac Jones had the first couple of drives for the Niners. 5 yards. Jordan James, Kalen Black, they both ran the ball hard. Those 2 guys, 10 carries for 57. Is with some pressure. Goes the other way to Dinkins, the backup tight end, and he's tripped up by Gree Vance. Remember, Vance had 10 tackles.
Right. And that's what you have to do on the outside. It's one-on-one. You and the wide receiver or the tight end, and he's not afraid to go make some contact.
Is back to the air. It's the sideline. It's incomplete. Jermod McCoy in on the coverage.
You can see is we talked about game playing a little bit for this week. The Raiders have done a really good job defending the boots and the nakeds against the 49ers. But you watch the secondary, the linebackers, the communication's been great. They do a great job. All 3 levels, handling the flat, the cross defending play action.
Got some third down, little double mugs in there. I like this.
Those mugs are Lindenberg and Shaguru from behind. And he's sacked from behind. The pocket eventually collapses. It's the rookie, Kieron Crawford. Simonson lost to 3.
And he's only got 1 speed, and that's just go fair. Comes out of Auburn. Was that Arkansas State previous? But watch him. This is the effort. Watch the effort. See, he gets up. He's behind the quarterback play. And then the coverage behind, sticky. Gree Vance, Jermod McCoy, Hezekiah Massis up top. Much improved first week of preseason.
Yeah, one of the positives, right? That first game against Arizona, they had 5 scoring drives to start. They had a Big time pass plays from Benson is in trouble, and he's dropped at the 11-yard line. But it's been a different story, right? The last 5-6 quarters of football for Darian Porter a little bit with the starters. It's been a different story.
Yeah, I would say a couple weeks of training camp, and we're doing install, and finally you get to what you talked about, Rich. A week of is going to be ahead of time, and you're seeing guys play much faster.
And they're anticipating, and you're not out there thinking so much. You're reacting to what you see, and that's
in the second quarter for the Raiders. He is now over at right tackle. Mendoza looking for the release, and he put it too high for Ian Thomas. Mendoza 5 of 9 in the first second pass of the game. If you're just joining us, Kirk Cousins yards had 2 drives, and the Raiders had a pair of field goals out of those first 2 drives.
There's just not enough reps for Fernando Mendoza. He needs as much.
Umbawale picking his way out across the 20. The offensive line trying to drive. He's about a yard shy. And that gets in. Clint Kubiak has said, hey, I want all my guys competing. He has not come out and said, hey, this is my starter for week 1. But Kirk Cousins has gotten the starter. What do you do with the #1 pick and trying to get him those reps?
Well, they'll know when it's time, but yeah, he'll get as many reps in practice as he can, and a lot of it maybe it's the challenge because, as you guys know, once the regular season starts, the focus shifts to the starters. We got to get Kirk Cousins, majority, we're going to see a change, and I think the Raiders understand the importance of a solid infrastructure around a young quarterback, and so many of the moves this offseason. Remember, it's not just whether the young quarterback is ready to play, but whether the team is ready and good enough around the young quarterback. I think patience is key. It's going to take some time for.
Toss play to Agumbawale. He is met and driven to the turf. Right, because 2018 Baker Mayfield, that is the last time to start week 1. And all signs are pointing to that happening this year. So that conversation of when does he play, it'll be dictated obviously by
our business.
Well, he stays on his feet and he picks up nearly the first down.
That's a nice little spin move by Fernando Mendoza. And this is just instincts, right? Rich, this is instincts. He just feels it. We saw him do this countless times. You know what? I can make a play when the defense gives me that opportunity and just avoid the major hits. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, downs each week. I think that's really important at that position.
He just ran for a first down. Got low, QB sneak right through the middle, picks up 2.
Coach 1 year, and what Jim Harbaugh would do every Saturday morning, he would come in and he'd give the other quarterbacks a quarterback test to find out. Bobby Hoying and Marcus Tuiasosopo, they had to take the test. If I'm coaching this young quarterback, I'm going to find out where he's at mentally each week Saturday morning to make sure he's keeping up with the game plans. You got to find creative ways. You got to find creative ways to get Fernando Mendoza mental reps.
Now, looks like Ian Thomas was getting set to shift.
This is flag penalty, first down.
That is Victor Dibikeje.
Yeah, I think I'll add on to what you're talking about, Rich, as well. And in talking to Kirk Cousins, the quarterback room it's not just one guy leading the group. They have healthy conversations about the game plan. And what do you like, Nando, Kirk Cousins? That's a good room Coach Sullivan
and
has
he's sandwiched, as you point out, Kirk, he's sandwiched between 2 veteran quarterbacks. I think Aiden O'Connell could be a real. That's why I think they'll keep 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah. That's a big question mark, right? Will the Raiders keep 3 quarterbacks? Since goes 96 yards, leads the team to a victory. And he doesn't get those reps with the 1s and 2s. He's doing it with some 3s, 4s. Just the knowledge in that room, led by some guys who've got some big reps in big games.
Umbawale got about 2 or 3.
Well, I said this last week that head coaches and 6 different play callers. That's insane. It's not the way you want to develop any young quarterback guy. And I think he can be a real asset in that quarterback room. I think he's got command of the offense. I think his real strength is from the neck up as Coach Mendoza. And he's been willing to help the young quarterback. And that's how you get better, when you have a quarterback room where the guys enjoy one another's company and work together to find wins.
To pick up 3rd down, he goes to his college teammate, Roman Hemby. He and Kalen Blitz on the 49ers sideline. Hemby's first action, he picks up the first down.
That was always as a linebacker. When that running back turns around, shows hands, now we got to converge and make a play. But these are how these backs are going to learn. Making a play and then getting vertical for the extra yards.
Roman Embiid's time at Maryland, 500 yards from scrimmage, and he has the carry. And he is drilled. Jalen Graham came up in the first quarter, down at 11. Well, as they were walking off and Clint Kubiak put on the headset right before halftime, he said, this team is trying to run the football here in the third quarter.
Well, most coaches, really, I think both coaches in this game will try and get out of here. You'll see somebody get hurt.
And goes it, dumps it to Embiid again. Bounces off of one defender. Has the first down. It's 14 yards.
I love his knowledge of the zone right there. Looking at the linebacker, he knows I'm going to turn to my left away from that linebacker who's coming from the right side. So he's aware of where he's all turn left, get vertical.
And
for
the quarterback is the eyes for the back who's got his back and head turned to the linebackers. You want to throw him open.
Another tackle for Jaden Duggar, the rookie out of Louisiana, who now has 8 in the ball. It's not so much position-based when you talk about the last 5 to 8 guys on the roster. And Ogunbowale, Roman Embiid trying to make
practice squad. You got 16 players, and we've seen the early parts of NFL seasons. How many times we've seen a guy called up from the practice squad be on this practice squad as well, who are one play away from going in.
Those are rolled out right into a heavy pressure.
Never want to run a boot or a naked into an unblocked 2-look, and that's a free rush. No chance in this situation.
How can you see that late, though? With that late defender coming down late?
Well, a couple things. We talk about a 2-look. If there's an end man on the line unblocked, if he's in a 2-point stance, we don't want to boot into that look. And it just comes with experience seeing the linebacker come from depth.
Trying to keep the play alive downfield, and he throws it away. Matt Gay.
Just watch Benson. This is a bad rep. Just watch the scramble. Okay, keep an eye on 19. Okay, he gets knocked out. Yeah, he's got to come to life. We talk about the scramble drill. When the quarterback gets out of the pocket, that's where you got to come to life.
3 for 3 in the ball game. This from 54, and it's no good. Preseason game against the Niners. It is 9-6. Harvey giving chase. That is a beautiful ball. Jordan Watkins all the way across the field. The second-year pro out of Ole Miss.
Yeah, they had a couple of different levels to this route. Watch as he comes out of the bootleg. See, he's got receiver at level 1, level 2, and level 3. Nobody was on level 2. Go to level 2.
Not that hard.
Back to the ground at Jordan James. Cameron McGrone through the hole to make a tackle after a gain of 1.
It's difficult. Watch 57 here. Go see. You see space, go run space. You go make a nice little tackle for loss. That's a nice job by McGrone.
McGrone 4 games with the Colts last year. Signed with the Browns. Played 1 game in the Patriots back in 2021. Been a lot more on the special teams. And another
these centers not snapping the ball.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man, sleep at the wheel.
Offense. Everybody but the center. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Rich, you've been in the NFL 40 years. Have you ever had a game where that has been called 3 times?
It's unbelievable. You know, there's one thing coaches won't tolerate, and it's big first downs. But when you're constantly going backwards, and I know a lot of plays on my play call sheet for 2nd and 14. That's the problem.
Just calling that. Watkins on the quick throw. There's McGrone again. So last week we saw a lot of Shegu Alubi making some plays
On the field now. To me, these are guys who are primarily special teams players, and they're getting their opportunity on defense. So one thing you will see.
Niners are 0 of 7 on 3rd down here in this ball game. Raiders have only allowed 9 points after the first quarter last week in Houston. Blitz, they come with 4. Martinez to Watkins again. Beautiful touch just over the outstretched arms of the 15.
You always hate when you have, watch the rush on the outside. Watch this good rush. Almost there. You need him to hold it for a beat, but a nice throw. You got to give Martinez a nice pat on the back on this one right in front of the corner for the connection.
2:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Raiders points. Fly sweep to Watkins. Raiders stretch it out. Dalton Johnson, the 5th round pick. First down. Greedy Vance again on the tackle. It is 1st and goal, San Francisco, as we tick inside.
Defense today stand tall. They force field goals inside in the red zone here. So this is where guys have to find a way not only to bow their neck, very sticky coverage. We saw in preseason game number 1, guys having to finish. This is where man-to-man on the outside is paramount.
As the tight end, Hayden Rucci in as a fullback. For the goal line, touchdown San Francisco. Now there is a flag down that was in the backfield. So
For 29. 15-yard penalty for previous spot. First down.
You don't get this call to us coming up. Now he goes into the air. Watch here. And then the block's going to be right there. See, late. You got Patrick Johnson, one guy who was going for him like he was going to block. He bluffs and then goes out for the score. Gets a running back.
I think it's a bad call. I think
But the bluff, I think, gets him.
that's
like
part of the play design.
And now you got another penalty. This is about to be the 7th penalty on the
Full start.
49ers.
Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. First down.
We talk about it, about no penalties, no sacks, and no turnovers.
Yep.
I think the execution, I think the assignment discipline, and playing with their eyes, playing with some...
The tackling too, Rich, especially from the cornerbacks and safeties.
With Patrick Johnson and Keelan Crawford, those two guys coming heavy. They get it out on nowhere to go for Kadero Hodge. And now it's 2nd and goal from the 30.
Can't see it from... Just watch.
Watch the clinic tape right here. Watch how he comes. That's good tackling by Dalton Johnson, one of those draft picks this year for the Raiders, a guy who's starting to see more and more playing the open field.
Dalton Johnson, the pick used by the Raiders when they sent Tyree Wilson to New Orleans. Up in the air, and it was behind Greedy Vance off the deflection. It was Shegu Alubi in on coverage.
Out of all of them.
The 48-yard kick from Eddie Pinheiro, and that is good. So we are
proud of the way that these guys have worked and joined our culture from the start.
Speaking of the right kind of person, I just absolutely love the quarterback. Just your thoughts, John, on what you've seen from
means later. But what is the first thought when you see something like that?
Well, you hope it's he's going to be okay. And you know, I
near the first down with a 3rd and short. No, they're giving him the first down. As we have started the 4th quarter, Jason.
This season, what have you seen from Max and obviously the offseason that he's had?
I've seen the tireless worker that I've come to know with my first the schedule, but he's really thrown himself into the teammates. He's trying to lead. He's trying to show guys what it takes to be a great player at this level, and you know, really rooting his teammates on through this preseason.
Tonight, and as Kirk mentioned, is not taking a preseason snap. Tariq Young, the intended receiver. You know, the other part changes, you guys have the #1 waiver spot. So of all the 1,200 guys who get cut by Sunday, if there's anyone you
Get him, that's okay. I'll roll with it. Yeah, we have a great scouting department that's really, since the Hall of Fame game has been going through every film, try to add to the roster in a unique way, and we got to be ready to take advantage of it.
Can you even walk us through what the next two or endless conversations about possibilities and, you know, trades and this is their week 1. They beat the Patriots.
Geno Smith threw for 360
And everybody
yards.
thought, geez, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. This is awesome. And the Patriots, well, they won 14 games. I'm just telling you, you know, it's all about building. It's all about getting better over in black. But I'm excited about the leadership we have in Clint Kubiak and John Spytek. And I think this organization is heading in the right direction.
Throws Sincere McCormick backwards, picked up maybe a yard.
You just really feel, at least I do anyway, that there's a real plan in place this year. Who can kind of hold the fort down until we get our young quarterback ready to roll. Some of the changes that we've made defensively. You know, Rob Leonard, I think he's going to do a great job calling the plays on defense. So, yeah, it's going to be tough, though. It's a team. You got to go on the road to Los Angeles, New Orleans. Right. You get the Chiefs, and then you got the Patriots. I mean, it's not easy.
And remember, you know, New Orleans saying, they won their final 7
games. They got a young quarterback that they're excited about.
Well, he's not young. Not young.
Well,
he's in his second year.
second-year player.
He's young in the league.
None of these guys are 7 years.
Some of them are young when they go back to college after getting cut from a roster.
It's a different world. It's the wild, wild west when you look at college football nowadays.
Of the Niners, just 1 of 9 on third down. Raiders coming with a blitz. Martinez to Rucci. It's a first down.
That's always a difficult one. You see Sloan there, he's upset.
A lot of injuries. That's been the problem with our friends from the Bay Area, the 49ers. The soft tissue injuries that they've had, the quarterbacks missed starts, and you could look at Brock Purdy, and it's hard. It's hard to win when you don't get the offensive line or the quarterback or the running backs out or the receivers. They've just been snake bitten with injuries here the last couple of years, and yet they've still had
in the playoffs.
Interesting to see whether he's ready to go week 1.
Martinez drilled as he throws, almost picked off. Beyond the Devin Perkins, the undrafted free agent out of Utah Tech.
In the face of Martinez. And that time, staying on top of his coverage as Perkins almost makes a terrific.
We're talking about just getting your hands on more balls, and that's one of the things that the Raiders have worked a lot on. Getting the ball on the ground and creating some more negative plays.
Martinez on third down, way over the head of Hodge. Again, they will trot out Eddie Pinheiro to try lead.
That's 2 for 11 on third down on the 49ers offense. This Raiders defense, you talked about it earlier, that with their first team, their second team, and third team defenders, everybody buying in to Rob Leonard's defense is showing right now.
Been outstanding in his career from 50 plus. This is from 58, and it is good. He drilled that.
It's been a very, very interesting offseason for you. You had the knee surgery, the whole Baltimore fiasco, and of course
emotionally, spiritually, and the whole nine, and I'm just ready to come out here and help us win football games. That's why I work so hard. That's why I come out here and try to lead by example. Style of play is everything that we're trying to instill right now, and we're getting better every single day, so it's really exciting to see.
Max, your perspective.
Guy that's going to set the tone every day, and so there's going to be times where you get into it, and there's going to be times where you're going back and forth with teammates and message.
This is a 3rd and 5 here for Aiden O'Connell, and a drop. That was in a tight coverage. Cedric Jackson had it.
When it comes to memory, then I feel like I excel at. So yeah, no, it's awesome, man.
Khalil Herbert coming out. Flag flies. Tackle made. We'll see what this flag is. He's thrown.
Rookies out there running around, their heads cut off, not knowing what to do, and have a tendency, Kirk, to grab. Right?
Yeah, but then you got the veteran guys who come out. Here, there was a.
During the return,
Hold on, here we go. Hold on.
illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 41. That's it, first down.
I learned this, Rich. There is a practice tempo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Then there was the preseason tempo, one of the regular season. That takes up a whole different notch. And I'm playing kickoff return. And I remember I turned to go and get my den and practice. I was able to do that, fairly quickly. I did it in regular season week number 1, and these are like all pro guys coming at you. Speed come the
You
regular
have to have your
season.
head on a swivel.
Martinez trying to get the screen. Oh, man, the Raiders were all over that. Pair of rookies, Brandon Cleveland, Gary Smith, about 7. And it'll be second on. Rich, look, everyone talks about special teams and how rookies make it. I know you were a quarterback. Did you ever want to? Did I run down and make a tackle on special teams?
I'll tell you a story. On my first year, I was the personal protector in training camp. I was hands team.
It's a big broken run there for Herbert all the way. He picked up.
Behind Tommy Kramer and Way Wilson, and the special teams coach at the time was a guy named Tom Batty. He says, so I did that for a little while, and I was so bad at it that I didn't get it, which was probably a good thing. But I'm going to tell you, you have a different appreciation. Lines during a game, and the violence, and how quick things happen. It's just
That's a first down run. Harvey finished off the tackle. The hole off the left side was pretty large.
when you could hear the
As well.
Martinez trying to fire near side. That was deflected. Sailed over the head of the ground. Spins out of the first tackle. Can't get away from Pegues. And it'll be 3rd down. Remind people how the waiver wire works, right? When you are first on the waiver wire, it does not reset when you pick up, right? And it's about to be 1,200 players over the course of the next 3 days who are released across the league. And so they are first for anyone.
Well, there's always a lot of roster changes with teams. And I think we're going to see that here with the...
A lot of space and 2 blockers. He's got the first down.
It's the perfect call for that defense. You get the defensive line getting up, and they've been defensive line down. Throw a little screen behind them. And that's where you see the big yardage for the 49ers right behind there. There's just nobody out there.
You know, Clint Kubiak's over on the sideline knowing exactly what his brother's doing on the other side. He's getting... It's here, McCormick. That's a good stick. Brandon Cleveland. The rookie will told celebrating his birthday with the tackle.
It's a big guy who they brought in. And it's funny how you're looking at Brandon Cleveland on the NC State tape, and then there's Kean Sloan to come here, and then you look at the Arizona defense. The Raiders are able to draft Trayton Stoops and Dalton Johnson. So you kind of look at a school for one player.
Raiders need to try and get off the field here. Niners are already in field goal range. It'll be 3rd down and 9 coming up.
For that job at the moment.
Pinheiro from 51 gives the Niners the lead. He is 5 for 5. Across the 20. And he's hit from behind by Jalen Graham out at the 29-yard line. So down 3.
Mentioned the clock and a couple timeouts. Talked about other ways to stop the clock, and always helps to start. The other thing is throwing the ball away in these situations doesn't hurt you. What you can't have is a sack.
Raiders will be sacked a couple times tonight. Man, O'Connell starts with a completion to E.J. Williams. Short gain out to the 34, picked up 5. 90 seconds to go in the preseason. With protection again. Looking for Williams again.
I think just the hurry up on that one. You had the positive play on 1st down. Covered, it's covered. Just check it down. That was a tough one. That looks to be covered, Rich.
Saran, the 9th-year pro out of Jacksonville State. At 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. They are 6 and 13. O'Connell down the field. John Perkins, and he just overshot him. O'Connell took a major hit down.
Yeah, he had to let it go before he wanted to. You had the wide open. It looked like he had multiple steps on him, but Aiden O'Connell felt the pressure, and he had to let it go before he wanted to.
So 1:18 to go. Raiders do have 2 timeouts left, but you got to convert. Need to get it across. O'Connell has room to run. Needs to get to the 39, and he's not going to get to
4 to extend it. Eddie Pinheiro's put up 18 points to Bryce.
Good snap, good hold, all 6 times, good protection.